Go back home.
Really?
Call this meeting to order. Uh, it is the June 24th, 2026 meeting of the Port Lavaca Planning Board. Uh, Looks like we've got a quorum, 6 o'clock, moving right along. No comments from the public that I'm seeing. And we go to item one, approval of Tuesday, May 27th, 2026 regular meeting minutes. I believe you guys have those in front of you. We did the minutes for March, and then we had a variance on the Mariemont subdivision, the fencing on that uh, dead end street there. And we covered that. Anybody have any questions or comments or clarifications about the meeting minutes? Betty?
Um, every time we voted, Gary's last name is spelled wrong.
Okay, Gary's name is spelled wrong. It is again
Gary.
Gary Grown. You keep doing that. He needs to fix their yeah, he does do that. But he needs to fix their autocorrect. Yeah, it's even like that in the
But it's right in the roll
it's
call.
right on the roll call. So we have a couple of minor clerical errors, but as far as substantive, no one has anything. All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting? Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I got a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. Carries unanimously. Great job, team. Our second item for today is to review and discuss the draft goal for the Port Lavaca Comprehensive Plan. You guys should have received a 60 some odd page packet in an email. This is the stuff that we're working on with the consultant. And then I think you guys are, yeah, it's going to be behind me. So I will turn this over. Do you want to take over and run through the goals, or do you want to just, has anybody?
Well, y'all received the first two, which is the land use and community character and transportation.
Mhm.
And hopefully had a little bit of time to go through it. And Betty, I'll go ahead and let you know I started doing the misspellings, started keeping up with them. I finally gave up. I'm just going to tell them they need to go back through and
Sucker.
But no, I guess starting off is if anybody had any questions to start off with any of the first two,
It looks like
hopefully I'll had a little bit of time to read through them.
it looks like they did take some of the comments that we've made in some of these meetings and some of the comments from those group activities that we've done. It seems like a lot of that's been incorporated well. I noticed some of the changes on the mapping and some changes to some of the wording.
Right.
We can get to some of that stuff later, but I did want to hear your follow up from that workshop that we did. I know you were going to talk offline about the manufactured home parks and RV parks and how we were wording all that stuff. Did you guys get that sorted out? Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Okay.
What Kristen was looking at doing was, and that's why I was hoping we were supposed to have got the zoning at the end of last week.
Okay.
But what she was looking at doing was putting it in the multifamily classification
Mm.
in the zoning ordinance. Of course, you'd have to get a specific use permit for that use.
Within the multi-purpose area, or
Right.
multi-family area. Okay.
So if you want to do a manufactured home park, yes, it says that it can fall within any multifamily zone, and I don't think there's not a zoning ordinance or a zoning map on this one, but but you still would have to go through all the different procedures.
Go through the actual.
to make sure that it meets the requirements. Uh,
I see how that would be at least a little bit of a level up from just.
Makes sense. Yeah, it wouldn't just happen. It'd make it more
Yeah.
difficult for. And I also talked to her about, because I was working with council on congregate living.
Yeah.
We have a big problem with that.
Mhm.
And anyway, council really didn't want to do an ordinance on it. And they were back and forth. Uh, they wanted some type of control, that's for sure. But then that's what I told them. I can find a way to put it in the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that might fall under multifamily as well. Maybe I don't know about Airbnbs, but congregate living, those would definitely fall under.
Yeah,
Fall under that.
that's more of a long term.
And I get y'all's thoughts on Airbnbs. You know, wherever you live, next door, would you want an Airbnb next to you?
I'd rather have an Airbnb than a
Yeah.
congregate home,
Yeah,
especially if I had kids.
yeah. The congregate homes tend to be a longer living situations and a little bit more
You never know who
consistently impactful.
your neighbor.
Airbnb tends to be a little bit more of a weekend or a short term with really frequent check-ins on the house situation because it's cleared out and entered and cleared out and entered so much that I think Airbnb type, short-term weekend rentals have a little bit of a.
If we want to go, if we want to boost our tourist deal,
Then you're going to want to have some
you're
of
going to
that.
want to have some.
Now, we may want to look at, when we get down into the actual specifics, though, we may want to have that not in single family home areas, only in multifamily home areas, or only on our coastal area.
Yeah.
And we may not want to put Airbnbs in some of the more packed neighborhoods where
Right.
it's a parking issue or a utilities issue because you've got 15 people coming for the weekend
Mhm.
from, I know my family rented an Airbnb for Christmas and we had 7 cars there.
Yeah, we've done
So
it.
you can really impact a corner lot somewhere in town for a weekend if you have 7 vehicles and you don't have the parking for it. So there might be some wording. We may not want to have Airbnbs in certain congested areas, but I don't think
That's something, and that's something that we can consider is, because there is, I believe, see, let me see what page that's on. Uh, yeah, basically they just have, neighborhood conservation, rural residential,
yeah.
multifamily residential.
One thing I liked here on this page, the key community issues to address with land use and community characteristics. It's retaining our coastal small town feel, which everybody agrees with in the room. And redevelopment priority zones, infill, that kind of stuff. Where do we need to really focus on actually fixing, not just move on to a new space? But this third one, the strengthening code enforcement to ensure compliance. We've had some back and forths, or at least I've had a couple of back and forth conversations with council members about not wanting to be a police state and also not wanting to be the Wild West. And you have to meet that compliance though. We got,
Has to be a line drawn.
there's got to be lines and we've got to hold them up. So I think this is a really good opportunity to incorporate some of these things you've been looking to get done so that we can really hold people to that letter of the law.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, they don't want policing, that's for sure. That's been said several times, but on the other hand,
you need compliance.
you have people that are complaining that they have, 15 people living next door to them with 15 vehicles.
If the goal is eventually to comply with what we've written, it doesn't have to be a police thing. It can be a long-term work thing. You've been really good at working with some of the people that have been out of compliance, but we have to set very clear standards when we do this so that we all know that there's a thing in here about fair and equitable, development.
Common sense,
And it's got to be laid out. It's got to be non-interpretable. It's got to be straight up. And so I really look forward to seeing more of that. I mean, I love talking about community character but some of these words are a little more mean something different between me and Mr. Grown there. But
That's true.
and but when we get down to it, it's the designations, the definitions, those kind of things are what I'm really trying to get meat and bones of. 67 pages, really nice, but kind of like there's 5 or 6 real good hard hitters I'd like to actually look at. So
Yeah, this is pretty wordy.
yeah, and it's a lot of intent, and it's a lot of because when you start getting challenges, I guess from community groups, you want to go look. These are our intents. Let's meet on common ground. We're trying to
Right.
preserve. We're trying to upkeep. We're trying to keep cultural elements, and historic elements, and you got to make everybody happy with these things. But when you get down to it, these are the bullet points of, process and the progress. Clear and defined areas for light and industrial. Anyway, farther down where it actually starts showing examples and all that, I really like that. If you guys haven't had a good chance to look at all the exhibits and examples and maps, they're pretty good.
Yeah, basically, they're starting off with the character-based future land use plan. And then they got the scales of development with the downtown areas.
Keep scrolling. You scrolling? Keep scrolling.
There we go.
Yeah, downtown neighborhood commercial. This is kind of what we were trying to pick out in that group meeting we had, right? Where
Right.
downtown, 1 and 2 story, walkability and commercial, and then they have some good examples of this kind of stuff.
Do you know if that new uh film,
That film designation that we got?
yes, does that help us in any way?
Ideally, it would. It's more targeted towards, small shots on a beach or
Right.
some little downtown characteristics where I don't think most of it would be, I don't think we're gonna have a whole film crew.
Yeah.
But
I was
we're,
wondering if it would help, like when they did Alamo Beach, which was a big deal,
Yeah.
a movie.
yeah.
They used parts of Main Street,
Mhm.
and like the old Sterling Drugs, the Cruise Building was.
The idea there
Cafe.
is,
So, we do have a nice downtown area.
And it's
getting better.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got some very scenic, picturesque, you can get
Yeah.
a picture of oyster boats, you could get pictures of
Mhm.
marinas.
So I was wondering if any of that could go towards or help us improve.
I don't
Main Street.
anticipate that being a huge commercial factor. I think it's more of one additional thing of tourism is, you could say we were in this movie or,
Mhm.
oh, that place looks like it does in the movies or something
Yeah.
like that. There are people that'll come a ways to see a historic Main Street too. So I think that's just one more facet of that.
I think there was a couple of years ago that somebody tried to do a movie downtown.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal, but
Yeah.
they do something.
But just the idea that the city would be willing to potentially block off an area for a moment, or that business owners know that, they're in that area, that you're not walking into something that's gonna be all curmudgeony.
Right.
It does
was
help.
hoping that'd be a little bit-
tourism.
Yeah,
That's one of the big deals.
Financially.
yeah, I don't know if there's much financial gain from that, but I mean, if you get people coming in, I mean, that's a small business operation. There could be 5, 10 people staying in town that wouldn't normally stay in town, so. So you scroll down for this little dotted list: waterfront, downtown, auto urban, well, neighborhood for conservation, rural residential, multifamily. So those are the not exactly the zones, but those are the ideas, the characters that they're trying to preserve.
Yeah, that's gonna be the zones for the future land use plan.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, the next page. Let's see, kind of has them outlined of what they were looking at,
Mhm.
but after our discussions.
And this lines up a lot with some of the stuff that we've done with, identifying different zones and different ideas, and it follows a lot of the major roadways and subdivisions already.
Yeah, and keep in mind also, this is just a future land use plan.
Mhm.
Just because an area is showing purple for industrial doesn't mean that that's what it's gonna be when we adopt all this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just a concept. Or, potential for in the future, maybe 15 years down the road, 10 years down the road. They could be, I know that some of those people that own the property in there may never sell, who knows, but it's just a concept.
There's some different, breakdowns they have of if you have a place planned out and somebody comes to you, this helps guide development. Doesn't necessarily dictate it, but people come in and go, oh, you guys are looking for a whole neighborhood over here.
Mhm.
Well, and it also helps guide the board.
Yeah.
Because when a developer comes in or somebody wants to come in and do a change in zoning, you will be referring to the future land use plan to see if it meets the intent of our future land use goals.
They're just bogging up the works.
And that's something we'll get into.
That'll last longer than, you know, us. Ideally, it's something that's a living document that'll go on to the next people if we retire or move or do what we
It'll
do.
be a guide for the planning and zoning board.
Yeah, but that'll be a continuous tool that we're helping to develop for future board members as well. So the next generation of boards will still have what we started with and something to help guide. So it's not like, you know,
Yeah.
you all join the board and you kind of go like, okay, what are we doing? This will be in the welcome packet.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, they've got some really nice breakdowns of classifications and character. I know everybody wants to utilize the waterfront, but we don't want it to be, I think there's a mention in there about it not being, you know, private waterfronts, closed beaches, and making sure there's lots of access points downtown.
Limits on heights of structures as well.
Yeah, higher walkability, less automobile traffic, commercial spaces versus the auto urban, which is your strip malls and more, you know, drive up, drive rounds. And then the idea of neighborhood conservation is to keep those established characters, to keep somebody from or have somebody building a little man camp or tiny homes next to your rural property. Pretty interested in multifamily. And there's some restoration projects, and that's code violations, unsafe areas, less desirable, you know, characters, and some of that stuff is maybe we can code enforce it in. Some of it is maybe that community needs help, or we can get grant money, or we can get community groups together, or maybe the population in a certain area is aging, and they do something like they did on that restoration committee where they go around and offer, you know, yard work services and small paints and things like that, you know, but that's, if we have those identified, I think it also opens up some opportunities for um, like specific grant money too. I think we have like a restoration plan. We can go in and see if there's something we can do. Not a ton of that. Usually on the edges. But something like a, you know, not necessarily an Amazon warehouse, but something like that on the edge of town would generate taxes and not impact too much traffic and maybe fill a few extra families in town. So we need to make room for somebody if they wanted to do something like that, where it's not going to be put in smack dab in the middle of rush hour traffic.
Watch TV.
I do like Walker, Texas Ranger, but
Watch football?
I saw a video.
the one,
It's watching Dutton Ranch.
You getting it?
Yeah, it's going back. It just disconnected since we have to cast it.
cool.
So you can't watch Brazil yet. Hold
You got anything specific you want to go over? I know we're just kind of skimming through it at this
on.
point.
No, that's all. I just, like I said, I was hoping to get those other deals, but yeah, it's mainly just if anybody had any questions regarding any of this.
I think a lot of this is just,
But it's a lot of information.
yeah. A lot of function and form and
Some that somebody may not would like to see changed.
Is there anything definitive on zoning?
not into this part yet. This is intention and land use. I know this is cool. They broke down, you know, how much oh no, I'm sorry, that's the next one. For the next chart. This chart shows based on what they've identified versus what we would be planning. You know, we'd expect the rural undeveloped, some of these fields and grasslands the percentage we would expect would go down about 20%.
Mhm.
And that would turn into rural residential, general residential, some multifamily residential. There's some general commercial building, and then maybe parks and some business area. So you can see what we're shooting to get more and less of. We've got a few different acreages, different setbacks. These are all examples. Now the area on Henry Barber Way we've identified before as like RV and multifamily and manufactured. I didn't see that in the. Can you scroll back up to that last map that we had, that plan map? There. Oh, zoom out a little for me.
Yeah, showing it as
But this is
a
all.
little undeveloped in the future land use.
Yeah, that Henry Barber Way, because when we look at its park and open space, and then I was looking at the manufactured home park in Brown,
Mhm.
and it kind of just identifies
Oh, no,
what exists.
it's rural residential is what it
But
is.
this is all kind of rural residential,
Yeah,
and I know that that's kind of what we have on this side of the street. You've got some of that stuff along, well, I guess down here along Austin on the way out of town. There's some of this is rural residential, really, or I mean, some of that yellow I think might be more rural, but it's deeper houses, grasslands. And that would all be kind of developed into that bigger neighborhood. But I think on the Henry Barber Way, with the church and the access and the fairgrounds and all that, that's still a pretty good spot for more RV parks since we already have that whole slew of RV parks and manufactured homes.
Didn't they just put in is it RV park or mobile home park? 'Cause I thought they had a mobile home.
There's an existing mobile home park been there for a long time, right across from
Yeah.
the baseball field. But
What
you know,
church-
this area right here is all that multifamily, high density
What church are you talking about?
parkway
Parkway.
up there.
Oh, yeah.
Parkway right there, Bucky's right there, Parkway. This is all that area, and then this is where you get manufactured home park.
Yeah, I didn't
and a-
think
and
of
a-
that either.
That's the RV
Big
park.
RV park.
This is the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And then you got baseball fields, and you got EMS station, and then you got just nothing here and nothing here. We've had a couple of commercials along the road,
Mhm.
which I would expect some commercial along the highway probably. I mean, if it was me, I'd expect commerce to kind of follow this corridor. We have it coming down here.
Mhm.
I kind of almost expect it to continue to, got a church, same thing here.
Right.
But in here, I don't really see that turning into a 1 acre properties like the backside of Redfish would look. I kind of see that as more of a dense,
It could also be light industrial.
or yeah, or even some commercial. I mean, one of the places right now is a laydown yard,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
but I don't see that turning into that. That was I think I brought that up in one of the other meetings, but there's just a few spots on there I might
yeah.
want to recolor or revisit once it's kind of fully flushed out. But we've had some interest in that land before for manufacturing homes, RV parks, a little bit of commercial, but I don't think anybody's ever wanted to develop a neighborhood back there. Just
What, on Henry Barber?
on Henry Barber, yeah. I mean, just the general location of the vibe is like commercial, highway,
Mhm.
RVs. I mean, imagine the whole week that the carnival's there, you wanna,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm. Or the EMS leaving it
or
in the morning.
they already don't run lights and sirens down Henry Barber if they don't have to, but yeah, you still get,
Yeah, EMS.
it's time to the road too. But I think that's been identified for the last few years as our prime location for those kind of developments.
I think that was the main discussion is that's where everybody wants RV parks to be.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Other side out of mind, basically.
I just back there on that disconnect between the two highways,
Right.
Street and 35. Um, That's just, I mean, maybe we don't want to designate too many places as future land use, but that seems like if we gotta have one to catch all, that's probably where I would identify it as. That's kind of been the work that we've done so far. Um, there's a few little bits of the map. I'd encourage everybody to go and take a hard look at the map and maybe do a little driving around your own neighborhood just to see if there's any oddities. But I think for the most part, I liked where all the commercial was. Residential made sense to me.
Do we know where all of the houses are that have the multiple men living in them are? Do
I
we
don't
know
think
where
that they're
is?
identified. in
Other than the
anything.
one on Virginia Street down from me,
I
Mhm.
know there's,
advertising for the rooms.
I know there's some at Elma Heights.
Yeah,
And I think, I'm not sure if where the Monteers used to live in Lynn Haven.
Oh, yeah.
there's a couple of them in Lynn Haven.
Be,
Where, oh no, that one on
Could be
the
anywhere.
corner, I've noticed they pulled up all the
can be in
grass.
any neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that had become one and that was
Gotta meet
what they were
the
doing for
Parking.
Room
parking.
and occupant requirements.
Well, there's no occupancy load on residential. That's why I was trying to get an ordinance on it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we-
Done that yet.
We kind of looked at that, the council called that
And Brook Hollow. is-
For man,
Yeah,
for the multi,
conjugal living.
yeah, the multi people in a family in a house, yeah, the rent by room.
right.
We had an ordinance that we were pushing to council that Derek had written up and council said, let's hold on and do some of the zoning. Instead of doing that, but I mean, that wasn't really a very strict one, was it? It was.
No,
No, it was common sense. I mean, you can have
I
five.
mean, I'll go ahead and tell you, Jonathan was concerned about it because he rents out to, he has a place where he had two people that are not related. And I kept telling him, I said, it's not going to impact you.
No, that doesn't impact that.
But apparently somebody's been talking to him and he said there's been concerns. And
I mean, like two roommates who aren't related,
Which is perfectly legal.
living in a house?
well, yeah. But I mean, but I think there was more to it than just that. I think somebody, he was,
Voicing concerns that were given to him over a lunch or something that
I
somebody.
wasn't getting the full story. I think it may have been some other concerns that people were addressing with him.
There's a house literally across the street from me that's got 4, 5 vehicles at it every day. I
Mhm.
mean, they park 1, 2, 3, and then up in the grass. And it's like a 3-bedroom house. They got 2 beds in each, one, but it's approaching the point where it's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I know
But
in
it's-
that house that used to be Beverly's there on the corner, they've got rooms for rent signs in the thing every day, and there's probably about 4 or 5 trucks in that.
Yeah.
Driveway
If
they've
they start
expanded.
impacting, your traffic and and then we've had issues with, sewer and water and safety.
Well, the party at night and
And late night.
blocking people's driveways.
There's a lot of that. And so we're
There's
just
a lot
trying
of
to kind of protect against that. And then
And, we're finding houses that people are living in the dining room and living room, just wherever they can put a body.
And I'm just
Yeah,
wondering
of
about
course.
this because I think that was like a 3-bedroom house when Beverly and her husband had it.
Yeah.
And
6, 7 people living there. I mean, it can
And
get
there's-
back here.
beyond Virginia,
I thought we talked about, I thought you said something about they had to have so many square foot per person or
Yeah,
something.
that was all part of the ordinance.
Okay.
That
That didn't pass
got shot down by council.
recently.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So they're not wanting to police that until we have more.
And I sat down with Justin one day and one afternoon, and we visited, and we talked about it. I explained the whole purpose of it again and what the intent was. And it's not to prohibit people from renting out rooms or anything like that. It's just to limit the amount of people.
It's a capacity.
If you're going to do something like that, make sure you have adequate parking. Make sure that you have adequate bathing facilities.
Make sure you have,
Make sure, and the inspections were just to make sure that, they have up-to-date fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, things like that, just like a apartment or motel or anything else would be.
'Cause a lot of times
Fire
have-
department goes every year to do inspections on those types of facilities.
these will have
It's
independent
not any different.
doors too. And like if they've got a hot plate or a coffee pot or even if they've got their own iron, but the door is locked, they go out, there's 5 other people living in the house, living room, whatever.
Yeah.
That room goes up. You don't have access to that room for fire. You gotta jump out your window. Well, if it's a, nailed shut, painted over window, you got a problem.
Well, the thing, and one of the main things that I kept reiterating is the last house fire that we had, it was a congregate living. And they turned the living room and the dining room into bedrooms. And so there was a bunch of rooms. All of them had their individual locks. And then they also had a plug outside that illegally was done for an RV connection. Well, that ended up catching on fire on the exterior wall, caught the wall on fire. Um, well, everybody evacuated. Everybody thought everybody was safe. Fire department was there. They put out the fire. Well, there was a guy sleeping right on the other side of the wall. And luckily, I guess they knocked hard enough or something, woke him up, right? But I think they had already had the fire out by the time. Nobody even knew he was in there. That's kind of things that, you just got to be.
Apartment complexes have to have, fire extinguishers per unit and sirens per unit, smoke detectors per unit. But congregate living houses are built like houses.
Well, and you go to a fire department, go to a single family house thinking they're doing a rescue on a single family. And then next thing you know, there's 10, 15 people in there. That's going to take a lot more than 4 firefighters to rescue all of them.
Plus the whole front yard's covered in trucks.
Well, and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you can't get access. Yeah.
Is it the homeowner that's,
The homeowners would be the ones liable to hold that. And if you're renting it out, I know we had, she's not here today to speak about it, but
Yeah.
she mentioned she had a problem where she had rented to 2 people and they had brought in 6 or 7 others.
Mhm.
But essentially your contract with that tenant is between you and that tenant, and you have to go through the eviction process. That's just that's the landlord's responsibility to maintain that property the way that they're meant to maintain that property.
okay, when I lived in Point Comfort,
Mhm.
Jackie lives there now. Carrie was buying out all these Formosa homes
Mhm.
and redoing them. And unless a family rented it, they turned into man camps, basically. And there were 1, 2, 3 just around our house.
Yeah.
And like my daughter has 2 kids, and there are kids that live over there. And we never knew who was living next door.
Yeah.
They would change in and out. We never knew if it was a sex offender. We never knew. They just had an alcoholic that was always drunk, and they had to keep going out.
Well, and if you have, the apartments, they'll have.
Is there any kind of stipulations on homeowners that are going to do that? What they
I
need to
don't
check?
know that we have anything like that with rental agreements or background checks or anything. I mean, a lot of apartment complexes will have, who are the listed people on the lease, who's
Right.
allowed to be there, and then if you move people in, you get kicked out.
Right.
But some of these homes are not necessarily run by the homeowner, or the homeowner is subcontracted to one of those leasing facilities, or they're letting a buddy of theirs keep his family there or something. So there is also that potential lack of accountability. Again, if you know that they're renting these houses out and they're being inspected, and there's a process and some paperwork on it, it gives the neighbors a little bit more surety, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that we don't have any procedures for that, and there's no ordinance. So you can rent your house out to whoever you want, or whoever
However many
you
you
want to rent to, whoever they want to rent to. There's no contract.
Right.
A lot of these guys are just coming in, paying 150 cash and crashing out on a mattress.
Right.
And I get it. A lot of them just need a place to sleep so they can go to work.
Yeah.
And I
Some
don't.
of them they sleep in their car and you just go inside to use the shower.
Yep.
And I don't
Seen
think
that.
I've had any trouble with the people down the street from me. I haven't heard that they have.
And they're not all going to be bad guys or nothing. But again,
But-
you've got a public health and safety issue with the fire department,
Yeah,
with the roads being blocked up, with utilities being overtaxed. It's just one of those things that has become enough of an issue that we're trying to address it.
yeah.
And by kind of laying things out and describing these areas specifically for homes and specifically for multifamily and specifically for single family and specifically for high density, you can alleviate those kind of things. People aren't building a house and turning it into a motel.
Right,
They're building a motel. So they're meeting all the requirements of a motel.
right.
Parking, infrastructure, bathroom facilities, fire suppression.
So there would have to be a zoning.
Well, that's why I was looking at multifamily,
Yeah.
multi-residential. That eliminates rural residential, general residential. So like Brook Hollow Estates, even Alamo Heights. Just places like that, they wouldn't fall under that category. It'd be in a multifamily area.
Yeah.
So
people wouldn't be converting.
not any of the congested or
Yeah,
rural areas.
I could understand if you had a home that you owned and you didn't live in it, that I want to rent that out.
Yeah,
Five guys want to get in there for $300 a week.
it's good money.
Yeah,
The idea would be
Yeah.
these homes in this area are for single
that's
family.
what they do.
You own them and rent them.
They do.
Sell them.
Yeah, then,
But they're
well, yeah, go ahead and get the 8, 9 guys in
Well,
there.
another thing is
Gonna
that-
rent them, why not have some kind of stipulation on the owner that they need to check different things? You
Well-
take Alamo Heights, look how many kids walk to JR.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
especially now we added new sidewalks too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You've
you
got-
gotta know who you're renting to.
well, the other thing to look at, and I understand the safety aspect of it, but also another thing to keep in mind is housing. The whole thing, ever since I've been here, everybody's
Yeah.
complaining, we don't have enough housing, we don't have enough
No,
housing.
we don't.
Well,
We don't.
when I came here, I wanted to rent a place until I could either buy or build.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find a place because everybody was just rent by room.
Exactly.
Wayne Schaefer,
Mhm.
he said the exact same thing. He had problems finding a place in Port Lavaca because everybody wanted to rent by room.
When you start
There's so much
treating,
more money involved, you get from that.
you treat these residences as businesses, like Gary's saying, if you can bring in 900, $1,500 in a week by just packing the rafters, that's a business decision
Yeah.
on a small family, single family home.
Business in a residential.
That's business in a residential area, and that's not
That all should fall on
multifamily and residential.
businesses that bring them in. I mean, not if you've got Formosa bringing in, 3,000 people to come in and work, all of them are from out of town.
Yeah, and those people need to
So
have,
you're doing that, but yeah, you're not providing housing for it. So
yeah, well, that's when they bought all that stuff
it's
and
gotta be up to them.
They pile up in the houses.
It's gotta be up to them to build units.
Yeah.
and they do offer, I mean, if you're a Formosa employee and stuff, they have some benefits. A lot of the contract, the thing is, those guys they're bringing in are contractors and third party. And but when you look at,
They spend money here.
to Derek's point though, if you took the option off the table and said that Alamo Heights, aside from the places that are built for, multifamily, if every regular single family residence was just for single families, then the single families in town would have a wider market and better pricing, and they wouldn't be huddled
I
up
agree with that.
into a.
Pricing would go down.
Yeah, pricing would have to go down because there wouldn't be that market for those per diems.
That's the other things I hear about Port Lavaca is just that rent and everything is too expensive here.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, because, yeah, they're piling up people in those houses.
Sold all those homes long ago. Last
The
year.
housing authority. So
Yes, then they saw
the housing authority shut down.
nearly all of them
When-
have been turned into man camps. So you
Yeah.
got them all over town. Because Sarah and Taylor were looking for a home then and we
Yeah.
couldn't find one. We had a hard time.
Yeah, all the housing authority houses went to it was an option for the people there to buy them. Almost none of them could afford it.
Right.
And they all went on the market. A lot of them had repair issues, so they weren't able to turn them into a single family home. Somebody bought them as an investment, invested the money in fixing it, and is now reaping a return as a business.
Right.
So they use them as business investments.
Right.
And again, that's kind of the conversation we're having is that
Right.
homes have turned into business investments. And that's
And it's
Not
spread out
good.
through our neighborhoods and everything.
so it's raised the price everywhere, made living in town difficult. And so you've got houses that are empty. I mean, there's a few houses in the Alamo Heights area I can think of but they're owned by large scale landlords who have 20, 50, whatever houses. So one empty house, they don't care. It's been empty for 10 years,
Right,
but it's not for sale.
right.
It's not available. Nobody can move into it.
Nobody wants
It's
to
just
sell.
stagnant property. So how many houses in town do you think we have that are stagnant that, with this push and with this move and with maybe some, help, we could place another 2, 3 dozen.
Yeah.
So would that?
Because you can also have someone die
And do that?
and the kids can't figure out
Yeah.
what to do with the house. So it just.
And then sometimes they turn that into an investment
Yeah.
property. So yeah, and they're very much so. We're that is one of the things on here is trying to get housing availability and trying to get people to buy into the community and
So would this designation, multifamily, single family residential, would it eliminate that? Would it
would you be able to work?
We'd be able to control it.
control it?
If they were to do something like that, they wouldn't be able to rent out to more than 3 other individuals.
Occupants, yeah, per square. foot.
If you get more than that, then it's basically a business.
Right.
And you have to make sure that you meet all the parking requirements.
Man, I'm all for that.
And that's what, and I reminded Kristen,
Yeah.
well, whenever, last week when she told me she was gonna be getting me the zoning and all that, I told her it's a mental note to myself, but also to you, is I did want to fit congregate living into the zoning and we had discussed multifamily. So I was hoping that I would be able to show you all that, but
Yeah.
hopefully the next meeting. I know we're planning on having a meeting. I think I'm thinking in September with they're wanting to have like another joint meeting. So probably next month, I'm going to have a lot more information for y'all to absorb
Okay.
and maybe have an idea, of everything, the whole concept, and make sure there's no major issues. And then I know we're planning on having another joint meeting and then another public meeting at the Bower again. Just one more hoorah, just to have the
The big charts.
charts, and then hey, what would you like in this area? What would you do different? Just get the public's input one last time before we get the final draft
Yeah.
finished up. And
We've gone through a lot of this and a lot of it's been, checked and double checked. And there's still some, I think this, you think that, but we're getting there.
Mhm.
But yeah, redevelopment and revitalization, that's important. And, that's downtown. There's the kind of they want to bring Main Street and the Bayfront together. We've got the boardwalk plan, there's the proposed, one-way street options for,
you hopped way down there.
she just keeps on scrolling. I did tell her to keep scrolling.
26. You're on 99.
Well, man, you're but they do have some really nice plans in here. If you haven't looked at all the pictures, you guys should really take a look at the pictures and the maps because they produce some pretty interesting things.
I wonder if I'll,
So as far as
when this comes around.
yeah, as far as all the designations go, though, I mean, we workshop some of the height restrictions and size restrictions. I think I like most of the square footage and acreage requirements that we have in there. Derek, did you notice anything worth highlighting or anything in the development or definitions that didn't match with some of the stuff we've done before?
No, what's presented is basically what I've heard from all of y'all and the public.
Yeah, it seems to kind of align. I mean, not everybody really knows. Not everybody's going to line up perfectly. Not everybody really knows how to visualize or verbalize. I know, but it seems like this is a pretty right in the middle situation. I don't think we're doing anything ridiculous.
Focus on what goals, the 5-year goal, what we need to focus on. They keep talking about the waterfront and downtown.
Yeah.
Within the 5-year goal, and then the 10-year, what kind of growth pattern we want to. It's way back. I'm sorry, I'm way behind all y'all.
So I've got a question. How long has the bank's wine and oyster vault been being worked on?
What's that?
The wine and oyster vault.
It was
How long have they been working?
Well, he started before COVID.
Oh,
The
wow.
wine,
He started a while back, yeah.
he's on that property for like a decade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he,
No, he got a grant from the city for a facade grant, before COVID. And that's when he went in, painted it, started putting new windows in, and then COVID hit. And ended up shutting him down because development,
Yeah.
that's what he does. So it really hurt him. So
Yeah, I
it took
know.
a while to get back on his feet. And now he's up and going again. And I guess it's been last couple of years, he's been really,
It's been pretty solid for two.
yeah, for the last
yeah.
6 months ago.
last year, he's been really solid.
A lot.
So,
They're working on the roof and doing some windows. Yeah, he's on the property for like a decade, but he, working on it for the last couple of years, but everything's been, I think all the parts are coming together now real fast.
You can months to.
more we get that downtown, the more we're gonna need that one-way
Yeah.
widening.
Well, and if we can,
More parking.
Well, and, I think, let's see, yeah, right there, some kind of concept like this, I really liked.
yeah, I really enjoyed that concept.
With
Like-
doing the one way. I know we're still in the process of getting that property from TxDOT.
Mm.
And once that's done, then we'll be able to do something like that.
That is Main Street, right?
That's Main Street where it's the theater, yeah.
Okay.
That'll be,
Personally, I think it ought to be a one-way with double-sided parking.
That would be-
Anyway. But I think that's something that if you go all the way near the bottom, they have different roads projected. I mean, it's like the last page. They have like different road options.
yeah.
And that's the one they suggest is the side by side with the pullover. I really think we need more parking than that because you've seen
Well,
me.
there's gotta be, there, in that area downtown with more businesses opening up,
Yeah,
you need a off-site parking, off-street parking.
best you can do. Yeah.
The best you can do down there, whatever it takes to,
There's
for the city to buy property and.
It sure be great if we
Like
could make
the old
Rapila's
Sam's
was.
parking
Yeah,
lot.
you read my mind, girl. I
So,
was thinking that Beatles right there would be ideal.
I think we might be able to look at Main Street and maybe shut down one of those little side streets and
Yeah.
add in a dozen parking spots. But that's just a theory. If we came across and we took one of those crossroads out on Main,
I wouldn't do that.
no,
well, who owns the Beatles?
No, because
Russell.
with doing the one way like that, you're gonna have problems with the businesses downtown. They need to get deliveries.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
it's,
thought we
whenever-
said they could go behind them.
Alleys. Yeah,
Well, there's not a rear access.
not a lot of rear access to them.
The cross streets, I think the offloading and loading needs to be done on the cross streets and keep Main Street open.
Yeah.
They're mostly used for parking during peak hours.
Restaurant gets all their deliveries on
They do it on the side street then.
Guadalupe.
That does make sense.
And that would keep them in, trying to turn on these little curbs too, because, if we do like a bulb out like that, for pedestrian, that's mainly to help with the pedestrian.
Keep you from trying to jump curves,
Keep them away from the vehicles.
visibility, slow you down.
And doing that, that's gonna hinder the bigger trucks, delivery trucks from turning. So we'd need for them to be able to go straight through the intersection.
I see. Yeah.
Does anybody remember Betty? Do you remember? I don't know how long ago it was, but do you remember them going in Main Street and putting trees all down and then they ripped them all out? I don't know why, because I was like, cool, that's going to look neat. And I didn't think they were there a year and they pulled them all up.
I don't think we even remember that.
Long
I
trees.
don't remember that either.
I don't know if that was it, or to me, it was something to do with sewer and water. And it was
Oh.
on the right side of the street where that new oyster bar is opening. Because I know they have some kind of sewer water issues with that side.
Probably wrong kind of tree to be putting in with the roots.
Well, the sewer
Yeah.
waters,
System.
they're,
Yeah, you have to buy root ball trees, the kind that don't really
Mhm.
not as hard. You put like an oak and it's gonna rip everything up.
Yeah, for sure.
you can't put a live oak or something like that.
Mm.
You can put like a cedar elm, something like that.
Yeah, some just kind of got a little top.
Yeah, I didn't know why they did it,
Yeah,
but I do remember it and it looked
Don't
great.
put any Craig burner.
Remember it at all.
Oh, I remember it all.
Oh, man, I love my
I
crepe
love
myrtles.
crepe myrtles.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Craig, yeah.
Mhm.
They shed like crazy.
Oh, I got two of them there.
My swimming pool in Victoria, the house I had in Victoria, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, now, I've never owned a swimming pool, so it's never been a problem. I used to clean a swimming pool though that had it had well, I can't remember what it was. It had some kind of tree that shed like a crepe myrtle, but that thing was 3 stories tall.
Oh, wow.
I'd be pulling out pieces of bark like shingles.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
Craig myrtles are pretty, yeah.
They are pretty.
They're pretty to cut down.
And then there's
No,
some
but they're
tree that grow so fast.
We need
and
more
then they
native,
die
we
in
need
fall.
more native.
So another little
My neighbor's
bullet
got
point section.
Good.
That's kind of what we're looking at. Narrow right of ways, large
Palm trees,
signals.
No,
Um,
bats and roaches.
Palm trees.
Oh, yeah, bats are great for mosquito eating.
Yeah, but roaches live in them.
palm trees, yeah, you don't want palm
And
trees.
scorpions, and
Don't want palm trees. But yeah, that's a lot of issues and challenges with our thoroughfare and traffic issues that they have identified as limited lighting, which I know we've been working on getting, some.
Yeah, there should be
Paired
covered.
and stuff.
Yeah.
That's all a text dot thing, but
Geez, good luck on that.
but yeah, I mean, we all know the roads have been a challenge, but we are
Yeah.
catching up on that road maintenance after all these years. I think in 2 more years we'll be done with Alamo Heights or something like that, and then move on probably towards the Bacala area.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as that end, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of places that the streets have been bad for 30 years and have gotten fixed.
Anything that's
Yeah,
drainage.
fixed.
Yeah.
It had dirt roads until forever.
Yeah,
They finally went in and put roads in it, so that was nice.
they had some suggestions on stop signs and stop lights and stuff on all these maps. We don't have a public transit system. That's kind of a hard tax.
Oh, yeah.
Itself.
We have a taxi cab.
We have a taxi. We don't have like a public transit. It doesn't have a fixed route transit.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, we're a pretty small town, and we've really been working on our walkability score and adding in good sidewalks and doing good maintenance. And yeah, and then there's we've even started to allow some golf carts in some areas. So I don't know that public transit's going to be something that we can establish anytime
Well,
soon.
do we still have that taxi ship?
We have a taxi and stuff, yeah. But like
Yeah.
we don't have
Anybody Uber?
we don't have a bus that just goes like down
No.
Austin, down Broadway, down 35.
I don't think
down
it'd pay for
Austin,
itself.
Exactly, yeah. It wouldn't be full. But looking at like bicycles and bike routes and trails, more sidewalk connections. And one thing I like here is street trees and planting. You need to have some shade on your sidewalks.
Right,
Down there.
exactly.
Even if you just have some seating areas or something, we need to have a few spots where somebody walking from A to B can sit down or catch some shade, because that's just going to cool people off.
Yeah, back in, if I've got a lot of the historic pictures and they all had
But we have a little bit
hills
of
that went over the sidewalk where you could walk down the street and
yeah.
You know what
you had
would be-
awnings.
you know what would be a great idea would be to have those shades ever so often, but have solar panels on,
Yeah, if you build
where they created their own.
solar shades and lighting, yeah.
Yeah,
Here's an example of a cover.
That's one, just kind of give a little shade and sit down on Main Street or something.
Yeah,
This is a different subject, but have anybody seen that bridge when you're coming into Corpus, the way they light that bad boy up? If we could light out Corpus,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
that's just, woo.
that's nice, ain't it?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It'd be nice if we
Change the lights on it.
maybe we do it with a causeway when we were.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. We stayed down there, went to a Hooks game.
Yeah, they
Beautiful, isn't it?
They
lighted up special,
did
too.
the old one too, but I
The old
don't
one
think
lit
it's
up.
nice as the new
Yeah,
one.
the old one lit
And
up.
this new one really lights up.
This one's computerized. They can actually do like a flag for 4th of July, or they've got some really cool programs working on that.
There's so much cool lighting you can do today with LED.
So yeah, incomplete sidewalks, disconnected bike lanes, physical safety barriers, limited drainage, maintenance and funding. But everybody knows you don't want to get in front of a contractor's truck or have one of them ride in your tailpipe.
Right.
But,
Yeah, it's kind of,
gets kind of into the weeds for us.
here's a good drawing of the.
This, I think they did a traffic study, when y'all throw them lines out, we run over them, it tells you how many cars are going across it.
Mhm.
The traffic studies, I think this comes from the traffic studies. I've looked up a couple of them to see traffic flows in town. But, you got
Well, you can see that.
traffic's Formosa to
Oh, yeah.
Victoria.
587.
Well, that's what we were looking at, over here on Smith Road. You got that dotted line going across right here.
I love that
And you
idea.
go to 87. So that way, the big traffic can, just skip town, not have to worry about it.
Mhm.
Um,
Of course, people down Smith Road may not like that.
I like it, and I live down there.
Oh, do you?
There's a lot.
There'd be a lot of stuff.
There's another option of doing it here.
Mhm.
Instead of going down Smith, you could come up and you could take the same turn. If you did that one instead of.
That'd be between Whataburger and
Yeah, that's, what's the name of the street?
in Russell's, I guess. I don't think there's a street.
No, that's right there. That's village.
oh,
Right.
This is just ditch.
that's a new one.
Right.
Yeah,
That'd just be ditch
Oh, that's a
road.
new road altogether.
Yeah, that should be a ditch road.
it's road.
Oh,
But where
okay.
did you,
All right,
what
yeah.
did you?
I just said if they did
Right.
this ditch road and then hooked it and went down here.
That makes more
Instead of
sense.
going down.
Well, it ties in right here on,
Isn't that LaSalle Landing at that new place?
Over here.
Yeah,
I'm talking behind that.
and in between the two.
Yeah, in between the two, where there's a ditch. When you look at your side, when you look at your yard over towards
Right,
Burger,
right, on that ditch.
we put a two.
oh, see, and we do have, if development, if the economy gets better. We had a developer that was actually looking at buying that property and doing like a mixed use,
Yeah,
subdivision right there.
yeah, we'd get a road started.
Tied in, behind Claret Crossing and, over there behind Raska.
That dotted green line.
That would be good for Maltese too, if
Yeah.
it was servicing Formosa.
Yeah, that'd be good. Get some of that from most traffic.
Live right there by the road to go to
Although-
work.
You've got the 35 corridor where you want businesses and you want people to spend money, so.
Right,
Yeah,
You don't want-
you don't want
Don't stop though.
you don't want to kill all the
You
traffic.
don't wanna
Right.
kill all of it, but
Yeah.
people
Well,
that just
those that
wanna
are
go
gonna want
home,
to stop and eat and all that, I think they're still going to. The ones that are just,
going home,
the ones that are not gonna stop anyway, they're
going to
gonna.
Victoria where they live, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause most of them don't live there.
put in a bigger Buc-ee's and put Bucky signs.
There you go.
I didn't forget about that.
Bucky.
Yeah,
Yeah, here's a couple. This is
They're gonna open up down here.
so the one-way downtown with two parallel parking lanes. That was kind of what I was looking. Then you have your buffer and your sidewalk, which is a little bit bigger because you're not having to have your two lanes. And then what they had suggested here is number two, where the two one-way lanes and the parking lane. You guys know what the rest of the roads look like.
has that always been parallel parking, or did they ever park slanted on that street? I don't remember. If it was one way,
I think it's always good.
you could put more cars in.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you'd have to walk from one side of the street to the other, but
Mhm.
I remember going downtown when I was little with Granny and it was parallel back then.
Mhm.
it's also less safe. You can get more cars in a slant
Mhm.
one way, but it is typically more accident prone to back up and
Yeah.
traffic into release of the traffic. So they don't suggest that, I don't think, in civic planning.
Also, that Main Street with the sidewalks and all that, all those businesses down there have
Awnings.
awning.
Right, a lot
So,
of them do.
that's the trees and.
Yeah, well, and I think one of the things though is you got to remember it's a 2-lane and there's parking on the sides, right? You can get 4 cars. If you're real careful, you can fit 4 cars across.
Right,
And if we cut a whole lane out
Well,
to add space for the sidewalk and for the buffer zone,
well,
we'd be putting in trees and lamps past those awnings where there's currently cars.
Yeah, right now it's 6 to 8 foot sidewalks and
Yeah.
we're talking about doing 10 to 12 foot sidewalks.
So you'd be sticking out past your awnings another 4 feet where you put
Yeah,
trees.
So
and
you
all.
take-
everything doesn't have an awning either, though, like, you know.
We're taking away a lane.
You're adding 2
Like they
foot
have
to
there
the
was a
sidewalk.
couple of people
Make it
sitting in a
acre
chair
or 10.
outside. You could potentially even throw a couple of
It'll be 4 foot.
chairs outside of people on a.
But
chair.
also you're taking away a lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gaining 12 foot and you're putting
So
6.
you're only, yeah, you're only one lane, one way.
Yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
and then you'd have two
That's
parallels.
options.
An option.
So you're going from four lanes to 3 lanes, and then you split that lane between the two sides. Throw some extra concrete, throw some extra pots. Really kind of
That would be-
narrow the street and widen the.
Yeah, that would be the only way to really.
Yeah, and
It would make it more pedestrian friendly.
yeah,
It would, people would tend to stay down there more. It'd be more
much more scenic and
pleasant.
yeah. They had the full measurements on there too, and like I mean, some of them are not even 60.
Monday night when I was coming back from the wave, there were so many cars parked on Main Street.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure out where they all were. And I'm guessing they might have been at Texas Traditions, but I mean, it went all the way from the wave past Texas Traditions, past that next block. They were up there by the haircut.
Well, we have a church down there too.
Are they there on Main Street, on Mondays?
Oh, on Monday.
It's Monday, and both sides were packed.
So here's an option
Weird.
for trees with grading around them. So there's actually a good chunk of dirt that they have to roll around in, but then we have it graded over the
See, I
top.
thought we had grates down there when they planted them. I thought they were still there.
Not there.
They're square.
It's all concreted in.
Yeah, I thought when those trees were down there, they had grates around them.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I thought they still had the
But it
grates
What
there.
ago was that?
It didn't last.
It
Man, that
didn't
was back
last
in the 70s.
a year or two.
Oh.
No, I was guessing this, I thought it was in the 90s, because I had moved away and come back to Port Lavaca. I didn't come back till the 90s.
Well, one good thing about Main Street would be if we did get that extra space, we could put a couple of waste cans out there. We could put a bike rack out there. You can put some lamps and lighting out there for the evening time to keep Main Street alive in the evenings.
Yeah.
And I think one thing we have to look at is a lot of lighting in places we want
Yeah.
people to be,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of safety lighting and all that stuff on right now.
Everything we want down there is business.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah. But you have to
They're alive and.
you have to make it a comfortable place for people to be too.
Right.
Nobody's gonna go out if Main Street looks dark. It doesn't
No,
matter
no,
on one
no.
business. You gotta have good lighting.
Oh, it's like this right here in the center.
Yeah,
Those
they do.
put out good lighting.
They do. And then the bannering that you can put like your events and stuff
Yeah.
is really handy.
Yeah.
But I've looked at some of the solar ones I've looked at, and hopefully we can get some money next budget year to actually put them in and see if they actually last like they're supposed to, because they've lasted in California and Florida. So I figure, why not Texas? Our salt water shouldn't be too much different.
Not that bad.
But anyway, but they're more decorative lighting. It has that older look to it.
Yeah, with the extra little bits and flair, it does give you a little bit more classic feel on Main Street. You kind of bring back that.
Banners.
Businesses to go in together for like something like, if you stay at Lavaca Hotel, maybe you could get a free meal
Main
at,
Street coupon.
yeah. To go to Iguana or Texas Traditions, and maybe even tickets to the theater if we had a
Yeah.
show.
And that's what I wanted to do with Love Letters. It's like,
Mhm.
why can't we have a dinner like with ZB's place and
Yeah.
have something there and then have them come to the.
I really like this parallel that they offered was it says here, this is Walmart, Murphy's, and you got the whatever. But you turn off before you slow down. You turn off before you slow down. Whereas over here, this is the liquor store and that auto shop. And that corner right there, people pulling in or out right there.
Mhm.
People pulling in or out right there. They consider that too close to the traffic. And they show, these kind of things that would.
That's on Commerce. Right.
No, this is 35, that's Travis.
That's 35.
Okay,
That's-
gotcha,
that's-
gotcha.
So, you can still access the business from here. You can still leave the business from here. but these two are too
Mhm.
close to the corner for safety. When you've got somebody
Mhm.
necking out, you can't get around them. Same thing here. If you want to pull in a liquor store, you pull off the road and then come through. You wouldn't just whip tail in.
Yeah,
So
that's what they have on.
de-incentivizing, yeah.
And I almost got rear-ended the other day because I had to slow down because somebody in front of me decides they want to turn in to go get gas.
So like
And-
de-incentivizing those kinds of things where you don't want, you don't want access to places to be traffic heavy scary.
Virginia and 1090. You got Calcom and you got HEB. And you got
Yeah.
the tire shop and you got the donut place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty
It was
congested.
That's something to look at whenever somebody's bringing something to the board too.
traffic through. Yeah, because if we could look,
Critical that y'all look at things like that to make sure that, the traffic issues.
if we look back at HEB and we told them, hey, you can't put your gas pumps that close to the entry and exit way. Because I mean, how many times have you tried to pull into HEB and somebody's trying to pull out of the gas pumps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get to.
If that had been, yeah, if that had been just shoved over, 2 or 3 lanes, then that wouldn't be a traffic flow issue. But yeah, those are really, that's, I really like
See,
that.
right there, you got the entrance to the,
Pharmacy and
Yeah.
Calcom and yeah.
and it's real congested right there.
Oh, I go to HEB pharmacy. It's got to do a little.
Uh-huh.
Stop and let
Mhm.
people turn in.
Yeah, you have to be a friendly driver.
Yeah.
And they're not all friendly drivers.
No. Unfortunately not.
Yeah, I was just talking about similar striping throughout town, so that way people, but you're gonna have like in low traffic areas, you'll just have something like this with the 2 parallel lines.
So never get text out to do anything but a couple of torch down lines.
Watch it.
You can't get them to do anything nice like the piano striping or anything.
That's all right. I'm done.
I'm gonna sit here and groan about it.
Grown.
But yeah, they did recommend some signage updates, which we've been talking about. And
Yeah, we
got some plans for some stuff coming up that'll be.
on 8, I think the one on 35 is gonna be really nice. I
That
can't.
one's gonna be really pretty. It's gonna be a big sign.
Oh, yeah,
The plans are pretty close.
yeah.
Where's it gonna be at?
What's it gonna look like?
On
What
the,
about Bucky's?
Oh, okay.
yeah, on the Parkway side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be replacing that concrete slab with a nice wide, kind of tall, a little bit of colors, a little bit conquered, yeah. So it'll be real nice to see. So you won't be driving, you can't hardly see that sucker behind all the poles and trucks.
That's the real.
The red and blue one was down there.
It used to be, but we had both. We had one there and we had that down by the Shellfish Way.
Mm-hmm.
That one's still there, but it's usually covered up by tall grass. And it's also, when you're on the road, it's in the ditch, so it's already low to the ground.
Right.
But yeah, they show a couple of them with like Port Arthur's got a real tall one, like
Yeah,
that's
that's
got that big lit. Kyle's, they've all got a little bit of raise up to them there that I think is really nice.
Yeah, classy looking.
Then of course you got, we could do bigger street signs. We could put in things like bike route or
One thing we don't have here is signs. I
we
mean,
don't have anything like Welcome Center,
no,
Leisure Center, Port Lavaca Bird Trail or.
there is a community center.
We have a community center?
But where's the museum?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
we don't have any kind of wayward signs to take, if we want tourism, that's something to, I think would be important is to let people know where everything is in town.
Oh, there's a library down there.
Down Main Street, I mean, it's not far from there.
Well, you know that.
Yeah.
But I'm from Minnesota.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you
that's
can't
why.
find it.
On Main Street, there was a
Fish and text.
Main and such, and there's a sign.
You know, it's historical and informational.
I thought the historical commission,
Well, that's for
Yeah.
historical stuff.
right.
They'll put out those historical markers,
Jody knows.
some trail markers.
We've got some like
You
museum.
know, everybody
Might,
knows.
but we
They might do.
need to go back and look at.
We need the blue one, we need the brown
One on
one.
Stevens.
Museums down here,
Right.
informational.
It's a new sign the other
On
day, but
it.
I don't remember what it was.
Surprised that there's not a whole lot of
They
that.
put up a bunch of new.
No, we really need it.
Was it on
We do.
35.
maybe?
35 is replacing the old smaller signs with the bigger signs.
Okay, that's.
So that might have just been, you saw the refreshed signs. That's one thing TxDOT got right, was putting up bigger signs.
Yeah.
We are,
These other signs as everybody ages.
we are, the TxDOT's getting ready to put up no truck.
Yeah, the truck routing.
Yeah, the truck route, that's right.
Yeah.
You just had to stick around a little longer and we start singing the praises.
Yeah, right, when I would have been gone or.
Yeah.
Puffing and puffing.
Gotta take your licks like everybody else.
That's right. Oh, we turned 70, we need to get a big sign.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, more direction, please.
Yeah,
They've got little signs like when you go to Woodlands or something. It's like-
Yeah.
And if you're all, trying to drive through crazy
Trying to drive.
and
it
then
crazy.
find, oh, it's behind the bushes there. I see a little blue and white sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are hard.
But yeah, if we have and again, towards that, crosswalk, making everything uniform and easy to understand, and yellow signs are caution, green signs are streets, blue signs are public utilities. If we definitely want to make sure we keep the same font, the same size, the same pictures and things like that when we map out our town and highlight. One thing I don't think we've really done yet is highlight those attractions that we would want signs for.
I'm not
We can
on the
mark it.
historical commission. I do know that we do have signs to some of that stuff, but
We
I don't know
have
if it's
some-
brown or
We
blue.
have some historical signs, which are
But it'll
typically like
say
brown.
museum this way.
Yeah, but even some of those are pretty faded and outdated, aren't they?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go around.
I thought we
evidently.
do it.
No, because you don't, because you can't read them.
I think one of them just says.
We'd be happy to work with y'all.
Yeah,
We would be
Yeah,
more
they
than
need to be
happy.
of a certain size and they gotta have
Yeah.
reflectivity at night.
Right.
so there's a lot of proposals in this that I think are really good. We have existing sidewalk. They didn't really propose a whole heck of a lot of sidewalk, I don't think, because we're really getting it. But there's a lot of crosswalk improvements. Those yellow dots are just everywhere that they think we need to put in a better crosswalk. And you taking notes, Gary? And
But
a lot of them are like down Virginia Street or down Broadway, just places where we now have a bunch of really nice sidewalks or a lot of more
Right.
traffic, but we just don't have a lot of traversal. The bike route, I think they really mapped out an interesting bike route. It doesn't, I mean, it connects through some of the more busier thoroughfares like Virginia, but it tries to get them off as soon as it can. They do have some stretches, but there's a lot of like going down Independence is a safer route than going down 35. Coming down Alcoa is going to be safer than coming down 35.
Right.
Right.
But there's some interesting little bike lane additions here that I really hadn't thought about, and I'm not much of a biker, but apparently a couple of guys had some input on that.
If we ever get the boardwalk from,
Oh, and then we have that whole boardwalk
it'd be great.
down there.
that'd be
Put
nice.
bicycles on that too.
Wide enough.
But yeah, you've got those proposed thoroughfares.
Yeah.
Now that's Smith to Virginia.
Mhm.
That leg right there, I think, is a fully like there's nothing. That's a completely new proposal.
Yeah.
But I think it was just marked. It's marked with a shared use path, but it's really a proposed thoroughfare as well because there's no road.
Right.
Right.
But even if you just went,
Up there where the green
you
starts.
even if you went from here to Virginia,
Mhm.
you'd just be dumping off this traffic.
Yeah.
If that's all we did as far as roads go.
Where in Virginia does that come out?
That is
Walgreens.
right past. Oh no, this is
Is it over there by Novice?
if you come out here. So this is Independent.
Right.
So you've got Oak Grove. You've got the turnoff into Bracalo.
Uh-huh.
There's a couple little spots right here,
Right.
but this right here.
I think right after Brookall.
That's well, it's a little after that, but it's. I mean, it's on your way out to
Where
McDonald's.
is,
There's McDonald's.
oh, there's McDonald's. Oh, that's
So
where
it's just right
McDonald's
there.
is.
So it's just.
Yeah, this is just
Right behind Brookall.
So past Bracalo, there's an old batting cage there. There used to be a
Yeah.
baseball park, and then there's just green fields, and then somewhere in
Yeah.
here is the Marvelous Gardens or something like that.
It's right before McDonald's.
Yeah, they're like right over here.
So it'd be right
No,
behind
it's
those
on the right.
apartments.
One right,
At Brook Hollow apartment.
go up.
Green one.
No, that, come down, right there.
This dot.
Yeah, over
That's not
there,
real.
well, over there on your left-hand side, what is that? Keep coming.
Oh, this is Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum, that's what it says.
That's,
Okay, okay. That's what I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it'd be behind those apartments,
No, not.
Behind buildings.
Oh, gosh, Cedar.
behind Old Brick Hollow, yeah.
Yeah, that would, I mean, just that road alone would take all the people coming off the causeway to Formosa and dump them on the other side of HEB.
That works for me. I don't want to do anything when I come into town on 35 because I'm scared to death. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get mowed over.
And they show, y'all seen this before, or the different types of, ways that we could do, like the bike trails,
Yeah.
the barricade, the physical barriers, things like that.
Physical barriers, yeah, on busy
Yeah, the
interchange.
bumps are real nice.
Or shared use path. These are nice little lines. No,
How to connect your shared use path versus having disconnected. I remember, gosh, like 10 years ago or whatever, when I got on the planning board, we were just starting to talk about adding in more sidewalks and rehabilitating sidewalks. And one of the first things I did was just start driving downtown and seeing where sidewalks were and where they didn't line up. And then we had a little sidewalk map at one point. It was just a bunch of little black dots. And I was like, how much to go from here to here, you know? And I think we spent 4 or 5 years of sidewalk money to connect everything.
It looks so good now.
It's a lot better.
Yeah.
If you notice the new streetlight, the streetlights that we're putting in, each one of them have a handicap and it'll have a crosswalk.
right.
And those will tie in to sidewalks,
Right.
so at some point. So down 35, you're gonna have a sidewalk all the way down
Yeah.
to match up with that
Yeah. That's going to be really nice.
eventually.
Yeah. And I mean, that's going to give people that pedestrian access to be able to walk. They already are walking it. It's just,
They're walking,
yeah.
they're just having to walk in the grass.
That's scary when TxDOT says eventually.
inevitably.
I know.
Inevitably.
Inevitably.
Yeah.
It's not shall. But yeah, I mean, I think we've, to pat ourselves a little bit on the back, we got that walking score or whatever, that notice of a, walkability score or something. Somebody gave us a shout out for that. So all the new sidewalking that a lot of it the TxDOT used, and we spent money to connect existing sidewalks to those.
What y'all done before, and then what Jody's done here recently. I mean, she's slowly still working on.
Pulling that budget. Yeah, that's a map that I think she and I had 10 years ago, and she's finally in a place where she can pour concrete.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really
A
coming.
lot of done.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I think our infrastructure is probably better as it's been for the last 20, 30 years.
Active transportation standards, I think that's improving. Because one of the things that, it talks about in here is a lot of times the parents really don't trust their kids riding their bikes to school. Well, if you get enough kids doing it, it'd feel like it'd be a safer environment, and maybe start getting a little bit more activity from the kids and
Gosh, I used to walk from Brook Hollow all the way to like Madison, Jefferson. Took over an hour, I guess. But a bunch of kids walked.
Yeah.
My mom was a teacher. I could have ridden home with her, but
Yeah.
now we could walk as friends. That was nice. And we had
up in
open
Odessa.
houses at lunch.
I walked half.
Remember when Bob Hines, he'd walk me home from Travis, and he'd keep on going all the way to Brook
Probably
Hollow.
only a few blocks. When you're in elementary school.
Shorter, smaller.
Uphill both ways, huh?
I remember being in grade school. And my mom and dad let me take my 2 little sisters walking at night.
Oh my God.
Across 35 down to Bottom Dollar and the mall to do Christmas shopping.
What were they thinking?
Well, there was nothing like it,
Yeah, man,
It wasn't like today.
that was Walmart back then.
Yeah, Valerie and I'd pick her up and off we'd go, and we would go down to the mall and we'd go shopping.
Yeah.
Shop that mall like crazy.
Just walk the mall and see
Walk the
everybody.
mall.
Mhm.
In the barber shop at Rick.
This one's showing the hotspot, downtown, that one way, on how to improve, to minimize, accidents from occurring at that intersection and also help in improving visibility. And we were talking about McDonald Road earlier. There you go. Apparently there's been a lot of accidents there too.
Yeah, my mom got hit there one time.
Hopefully someone driving too fast, she's probably on the phone.
Mhm.
She went to that field at lunchtime, like Monday.
It's probably people coming off of Maxwell or McDonald.
Well, no, she was coming this way.
No, I mean, but probably going too fast.
Yes, because the road kind of just does a little bit. If you're not paying
Yeah.
attention, oh yeah, that's it.
My mom was going to school on 1090 and someone was coming out on Maxwell Ditch Road and didn't stop and hit her. But there's only 2 stop signs there. Maybe there needs to be 4.
It happened with John De La Cruz.
Coa,
He died.
Austin
Mhm.
Street.
Is that John's?
I know that, we've had utility poles hit there.
Downtown.
I'm sorry.
That office in Alcoa is bad, man. So I live down in Marymount down here, and now I live over in
Right.
Shopper. But I can't tell you how many times I've driven through that intersection and somebody's either almost hit me
Mhm.
or swung through a red light, been
Not paying
speeding down the
attention.
road. Or man, there's this new thing now. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you'll be sitting at a light and the guy across from you has his blinker going across. And when it turns green, they just jump.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't wait for you to go. They just jump straight across.
Yeah.
And that throws everybody off. But I can't tell you how many crazy wrecks.
Everybody needs to go back to driver's ed school.
Yeah, on Austin Alcoa.
Go to the driver's ed anymore?
No,
They don't.
they don't have a school for
They
it. You just
should
take it
be
on.
in school still. It took me all summer in Victoria. Oh,
Oh man, there's
to get
Virginia and
drivers.
35. That's a
Yeah.
problem.
Austin Street and Cedar.
Austin and Cedar is pretty bad. I'm sitting there watching those wrecks every day.
Are we gonna ever change the deal where trucks come down
Yes.
Virginia
That's being
and be
posted.
able to make? Okay.
That's the no trucks things that,
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah, that's gonna get posted.
Anyway, yeah, just showing different hotspots that we have here in town
And they took information on how many wrecks have been coming in and what's our worst area, and where's the worst speeding and all that. So I mean, these aren't just guesstimates.
there's your no trucks.
Ew.
Beautiful.
A big truck on Cedar.
Yeah, we don't have that. It's not done yet.
So I was kind of like, where's this guy? He didn't even make that turn.
That's not done.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, I saw
We'll
a
get there.
tanker truck going down Commerce. I'm like, you're not supposed to be down here. You're not delivering that to anywhere down here. They were going out to
Well, they could. I mean, depending on the tanker, they could be dropping off fuel stuff.
Yeah. But then shouldn't they still be on not Commerce Street? Thought they weren't allowed to do Commerce Street.
It's the promote inner city connectivity regionally.
That's just like when the causeway gets rebuilt, we need to be a part of it. There again is some proposed truck routing.
Is it like forever gonna get rebuilt?
I
Or
mean,
did they just fix it?
they put like a 10-year gap on it or something, didn't they? So
Yeah,
we
it
got,
was-
like, more years.
Okay, because it was like, what was it?
Yeah, they're talking about,
Deemed unfit
Yeah,
in 80.
yeah.
yeah, they're talking about, when we convert Main Street into one way, possibly doing something like this up there.
Like a main street and also a truck buffer.
It's a decorative, arch type deal to prevent trucks from going through Main
Oh.
Street to cause problems. Um,
Yeah, truck routing is something we've been working on, and it's
That's
gonna be registered with TxDOT and signs are gonna be up, so I mean, we're right there on it.
that's the last page.
Ta-da! All right, anybody have any
Let's
questions?
start with the goal number 3. No.
Everybody in the room went. All right, anybody have any further discussion, comments, or questions about what was reviewed? Any thoughts about? I mean,
Well, like Justin said, I think it's really important to look over the map, kind of look at your areas, make sure that we're not missing anything.
Yeah, definitely look around your own backyard, because I mean, I don't know the whole town, right? So you got to look at your own neighborhood and see if you see anything. And
All in all, though, we all agree that
It's the right direction.
Right direction. I mean, it's looking better than it was.
yeah, but we need to keep an eye out for details. You know, I mean, the council's going to look at this too. the planners are looking at this, but you know, we're, you know,
Well,
we're the eyes and ears of
council
council.
got it, so.
Yeah, we're the eyes and ears of the council, though. They're gonna get this the same day they get 30 other things.
Yeah.
So the more we can look at our areas and think about, you know, oh, hey, here's a, you know, what about this? What about that? Oh, hey, I don't like how this looks here. I mean, hell, even if you're wrong, but bring it up.
Yeah, any thoughts or anything, please email.
Yeah, I was gonna go through the map again and maybe, I mean, a lot of the things that I've vocalized already.
We'll do that.
Sorry, I had problems with the truck route and they trimmed off some stuff from the truck route and I had some questions about, you know, mixed use or commercial or that kind of stuff and they've really penciled it in. I mean, they're very easy to work with. The workshops that we have where the maps are up and we're putting you know, dots and stuff, those are really helpful. But if you guys have anything, man, please speak up because
Well, I know I ride around. We got a lot of empty houses.
I speak up. I didn't mean right now.
Got a lot of empty houses in Port Lavaca that's not being used.
Infill development, man. That's
Yeah.
true. We
Wow.
and the more we can make people
We get them filled.
That's what I'm asking. Right there, it's a beautiful home, would be on Virginia Street. You know where that little restaurant, I think it's a little barber store. Right across from IBC, it's a little building. Right behind there is an old house I seen the other day, nobody lived.
There's
We got a lot of them for about.
There's a lot of empty houses, but one of the things that is going to make the town grow and fill in like that is when you've got a neighborhood and you've got all the neighbors looking at this house every day, somebody's going to get to it. I mean, if the house is all just rent houses and contractors going through town, they don't really care what happens. Nobody notices a water leak. Nobody notices a broken window. Nobody says nothing about a dilapidated area. So, you know, the more we get people filled in and fixed up, the more those kind of things will stick out like sore thumbs.
About the yellow one? The yellow?
It's blue, it's gray. It would be Derek right there by.
It's on the corner.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to adjourn the meeting. I think we've done all we can do here today. You guys want to talk on the side? No, go right ahead.